Welcome back, folks. Another night of Shtick with Koolfrogg. How are we doing today? We got an interesting show coming up here for you. Seems like I'm not the only one that's covering this, so we're just gonna let's just get right straight into it, I guess. There's been some controversy in the with Jack Murphy and Sydney Watson, and it seemed to have brought the quartering into the issue. So, I mean, being that that's the case, I don't want to prolong this too long because I have a lot of content and I'm pretty sure that I'm going to go past the hour. That being said, let's share our first screen. And the first screen, it's going to be this. It's going to be the whole story of what Jack Murphy put out about his cuck self. We'll just get right into this. We're gonna try getting through all this reading. There's a lot here, and there's some videos that we're gonna view. We're gonna do some more stuff and to go along with the situation, stuff that's actually culminated in the last few days. And let's see what happens here. Let's see how far we can get. Starts off cultivating erotic energy from a surprising source. Today, I sent my adoring, loyal, hot young girlfriend of 2 years to have relations with stranger from Tinder. She's currently at his apartment, checked in with me via text, and is presumably doing things her way to a good time. I'm alone writing. That being said, let's bring in America's Shirts. And there's America's Shirts. How you doing, buddy?
Yo. Sorry, I'm late again. I was shilling us on Joe Neerman, Good Logic's stream that he was doing for his locals people. And
okay.
I got caught up shilling and like trying to tell this guy that he's completely wrong, that we went over the documentation, the first video that we did, and then it was taken down by Susan and we had to put it up on Rumble and Odyssey. So people, if you're watching, you should totally go watch that. Go back and watch. I think it's the first thing. Yeah, it's the first thing that we did together. It was the first
I must have seriously, I dozed off toward the end of Good Logic's show or whatever. I didn't catch that he was actually going to go over the locals. Otherwise, I probably would have been there. That's too bad.
Well, he just went off, so.
Well, that's fine. Either way,
I caught myself and I was like, "Oh crap!" And then I went up here and I just flipped it back open and he's already off. So
I did read the first paragraph on this article. Got myself to, I'm alone writing. Couldn't be happier. Yeah. I don't believe him. Just now, before you write me off as another salon.com freak who wants to be
or a CNN producer. You know what
I mean? Who wants to be a cuck or some kind of spineless beta undermale. Hear me out. This has been a long road. My manhood is intact.
We heard you all right.
And my is hard. Really? That really turns you on? Because if I knew somebody was sleeping with my wife, you'd I would not be turned on. I'd be very disturbed. Just saying. That's not.
Well, you're normal. You don't count.
Oh, that's good to know that I'm supposedly normal. It says, I'm almost 40 years ago. After my divorce from my blue pill marriage, I found Roche and eventually rational male. Along the way, I made friends with Cernovich, and we came up together in the game. I've learned and practiced Tantra, various elements of BDSM lifestyle, and just about every single pun intended for male female relations. Okay. It's a little,
Oh my.
yeah, a little strange. Looks like we got 3 likes
Oh,
on our
neat.
video so far. Yeah, something's going on for us. So it says, from experience, effort, and education, I've become an expert. I learned over how my natural disposition is to be dominant for submissive women. I'm practically an ideal. I had these things and done this with them. Feminists seek me out to F them like the patriarchy. Yeah,
Nothing of concern here.
nothing of concern at all.
Nothing to see here.
That's you know
Take it off the Wayback Machine. Just wipe it out.
that's normal.
We've
And
moved
yet,
past this, which is why we were on Timcast talking about how, there's nothing wrong with being attracted to a 15-year-old. What?
yeah, yeah, right.
We've
Yeah,
moved past this,
I
ladies and
kind of
gentlemen.
caught that. I kind of caught that episode a little bit or whatever. I went back and kind of tried watching some of it or whatever just to see what he was saying, and I'm like, okay, a little off color for me, I guess. I'm not really
Little
interested
bit
in it.
odd, you might say.
So then, and yet, we're gonna totally go past our hour tonight. We got lots of material to go through, and yet, I've just sent my 15-year junior girlfriend. So if he's 40, she's, 25 to bang Matt from Tinder. Why? Years of being in a dead marriage, sexless, undesired, and unappreciated, made me question myself, made me question my manliness. It made me question my worth.
You make us question your manliness.
Well, that exactly, and that's the reason that we're
It's just like,
covering this is because we're questioning his manliness, and everything that go along with that. It sounds a little, a little odd. I was emasculated in couples therapy. The 60-year-old shriveled arbiter proclaimed my sexual urges unreasonable, that my wife had no obligation nor even a passing concern for the existential angst my unrequited sexual energy was creating. And he just uses these words that, he just, to write the story. And I doubt he actually felt this way at any point in time. I really do. I mean, any man that feels this way, I was dying. My personal Maslow's unmet, but they didn't care. Ultimately, divorce and subsequent followed. Oh, really? This thing. It won't let me. There it goes. It lets me highlight it there. That. From that disorder, my new persona evolved. I made it a goal to become objectified. Was that the healthiest conception? Maybe not, but my ego demanded that for survival. I had to become a reaffirmed, or I had to become reaffirmed sexually. In many ways, sex is about being accepted by other person. Human beings are designed for attachment and affirmation. We need it. Well, I mean,
which is why
yeah,
you forcibly do things with people
right. Yeah,
that are grape
forcibly
flavored
forcibly doing things with people, you know,
because,
is not a
attachment
design
and,
of the attachment and affirmation of anybody. That's just kind of um, disgusting to say the least. It is okay to desire being affirmed. Not getting that from your wife and not being able to get it elsewhere is damaging. It takes healing. So now on this statement right here, the not getting it from your wife and not being able to get it elsewhere is damaging. Well, if you're not getting it from your wife, I'm on my third wife. So, if you're not getting it from your third wife and you're having issues getting it elsewhere, sounds like a personal issue. I didn't have a problem finding it elsewhere. Hence the reason I have I'm on my third wife. You know, I mean, things happen when when this happens and you feeling the way you do because you're just not being tended to. You have the tendency to tend to yourself and go find somewhere where somebody will help you.
when the
It's
dog
amazing
bites
how
or
many
the bee
people out there are
stings
actually willing to
when
help
I'm
you.
feeling sad.
So away I went on my journey, whose goal was to become desired purely for sexual and physical reasons. I wanted to be the most memorable sexual experience for each woman I slept with, to ruin her forever. In a good way, I wanted a lot of sex, and I got it. I succeeded. And maybe now I'm even sated. I mean, I guess if that's what gets you going, the edge gets far from center eventually. Excitement and novelty can wear off. Even novelty can become boring. There are only so many approaches to sex, so many different ways to doing it, only so many different kinds of people and lovers. For me and those who like to push the edge, he likes to push the edge. Eventually, the only areas left to explore become things you can only do as an evolved couple. Intimacy and vulnerability are essential to form and trust, which becomes the launching point for erotic explorations. Unfortunately, over time, intimacy as practiced today tends to lead to the extinguishment of the erotic flame. I mean, I get the feeling. I've been there, from feeling emasculated from, not getting the attention or whatever, and feeling that you need to actually move on because things just aren't going well. But never have I ever felt the need to actually force somebody to do something that they didn't want to do. Esther Pearl, author of Mating in Captivity, writes that intimacy can destroy desire and passion. When two people, when two become one, there's no gap to bridge. That gap is where erotic energy lies. Creating and maintaining a gap between two people who live together takes special care. When my girlfriend and I decided together that I'm going to her whenever I want, That appearance of non-consent gives us extra erotic energy. Um, the whole thing, that whole last little um, sentence or whatever was just kind of like, what? How can you do that to somebody? Usually, you just, if you, you roll them
Sounds like a
over.
lot of justification of certain what you might call perversions of
Yeah,
in a sexual nature
yeah.
of a sexual nature.
So I mean, once you, in my thought, opinion, or whatever, it would be once you actually did something and went that far, it's going to be super hard to turn around and go back to anything that's quote unquote normal, because it's like watching porn. After you watch so much of it, you desensitize yourself to it. It's no longer really something that can help you, you know, feel complete in the moment or whatever. It's you just you can ruin yourself with that. That certainly is about bridging a gap, as it were, and I inherently contain a certain anonymity to it. It turns out it turns her on like crazy. I love it. Healthy, vigorous sex can and does include violence and aggression. Power dynamics are often at the core. Again, he's desensitized himself to the point of that's the only thing he's going to be able to do now. He's not going to be able to turn back and actually have a normal, rational relationship out of anything. This is not. It's never going to happen. But we decide in advance what is okay, and we have an established code of conduct. So, is it this or is it not? It is suspended disbelief. This disbelief allows us to create a gap to close. It creates space for desire to reach out to the other person. Role playing stranger puts it into different personas for the moment, creating a mystery, danger, and desire. It's effing hot. Matt from Tinder helps us to introduce another element which requires suspended disbelief. Just like my girlfriend knows, I could nor ever would actually force her. I too know that my girlfriend was not going to leave me for some guy she met on Tinder today.
Oh, and that forcing her is grape flavored.
Yeah.
Um,
The entire experience is regimented according to my rules. I introduced her to the idea. I pushed it. I told her to go on Tinder and find someone. On the day in question, I tell her when and where to do it. She checks in with me via text. I know where she is, and I'm waiting for her. She is not alone. She is on a mission sent directly by me. And the entire point is for me to get turned on in a way that wouldn't happen otherwise. Cock. That's it. That's how it's the word that this defines or is defined by. I mean, it's just what it is. The excitement, eustress, and anticipation put me in a different state. I get turned on knowing someone else wants my girl so badly as I do. Yes, I get turned on knowing she is someone else. She's with someone else and you're getting turned on by it. Again, this it's the same thing as the last paragraph. Cocked. We've done it together where we picked up a guy at the bar, took him home, and I watched them. Or we've brought a guy from Craigslist over and took pictures as he banged her. I mean, what? How is this even? That's disgusting. This time, I just sent her on her way and gave myself time to write and relax, knowing that the exceptional sex awaits upon reunion. So once she comes back, you're fine with all the stuff that already happened. You're just gonna go ahead and get it on with her again. The time she spends with the other guy isn't really hers alone. It's ours. It's mine. It's her acting out of my ideas. So it's all his thoughts. This is everything that he wants. It's not necessarily what she wants, it's what he wants. And obviously, she's enjoying herself. Maybe. It's not incongruent with our dominant submissive relationship. As crazy as that may sound to some, when she is finished, she rushed back to me immediately. And we had the best ever, yet again, each time surpassing the last. New peaks 2 years into it. Putting ourselves into the situation creates a newer, crazier level of erotic energy that leads to even better and more powerful sexual experiences. Call it sperm wars, fear of losing
Good
her,
God.
or jealousy, all of it contrived by our own suspended disbelief. It leads to an amping of our own energy in a way I've not experienced anywhere else. Basically, I got to spend some time writing and being alone. My preferred activity. Is it your preferred activity? Are you sure about that? In return, I get hotter, more satisfying with a young girl that I love. Our bodies are fickle creatures. I don't think love or lust is designed to do much more than trick us into getting her pregnant. A temporary insanity cloaked in oxycontin dopamine. So now he's doing other things as well as, you know, forcing himself to do things with her. So again, he's desensitized himself once, and now he's desensitizing himself even more. It fades, usually 18 to 36 months in, and you're left wondering where's the spark went and how to get it back. Really? 18 to 36 months, huh? That's kind of short term. I mean, my relationships lasted, 7 to 10 years before, moving on. This outright manipulation of hormones through contrived consensual activities involving a third person is just another biohack. It can be part of the repertoire in individual self-regulating male. But not just anyone can or should jump into something similar. Nobody should. Absolutely nobody. Let's see, what I'm talking about is advanced stuff, guys. Apex level.
Oh my
Really?
God.
Apex level? That
Yep.
doesn't sound like apex
Yep.
level to me.
That's what he thinks. And he still has that kind of attitude, conveniently enough. Like anytime anybody even brings it up, he's like, well, he acts as though there's nothing really all that wrong with it. Like that's his attitude. He's very dismissive of it. And that's kind of like his attitude is like, he just thinks that it's okay. It's Apex. He doesn't outright say it, but his demeanor and his attitude towards it is very dismissive, like, it's nothing, it's whatever. And he doesn't own up to it or anything. So that suggests to me that he doesn't really feel any guilt behind it. He still thinks it's Apex.
Which is kind of disgusting when you think about it.
But hey, he just leads a group of people, charges them, $3,000 a year, $100 a freaking month. Probably waged all of his mortgage, his car payment, everything on that. Like freaking scam. It's like a cult. Anywho's.
Right? There are ground rules and conditions precedent required before closing
boundaries, hashtag boundaries.
hashtag boundaries before closing a deal like this. Cultivating erotic energy this way can be risky. Your frame and trust must be impenetrable for this to work. You have to be in a certain place yourself before you can ever try this. From my experience, I've deconstructed what has worked, and here I am. And
And here you still are.
And here is how you do it. Learn game, get fit, raise your status. Before you attempt a Matt from Tinder scenario, you better already be at the top of your game. Follow everything Mike tells you to do at danger and play first. Once you mastered yourself, then you can master advanced like this. Really? Once you mastered yourself? Sounds like you didn't know how to master yourself at all. They required you to go somewhere else to actually find the assistance to do so.
Yeah.
Take baby steps.
One could infer that.
Mm-hmm. Take baby steps. Go through all the other stuff first. This is from your.
He would know what baby steps look like. They allegedly are in his basement. What?
This from when you already experimented with BDSM, Tantra, and whatever else gets you going. Extinguish the thrill of novelty first. Have threesomes with other women. Have girls on the side. When that energy ebbs, when you find yourself wanting to work more and even talk to other girls, much less put in the energy to do things with them, then start to consider something like I'm suggesting. You actually get an erotic charge from doing nothing. Highly efficient. The day after nights like this, I usually creatively supercharged. Oh, okay. So you wrote 5 books, and those were the 5 times that occurred? You must be dominant, and she's submissive. If your natural disposition is to be submissive, you have already lost the fight. Go back to step 1. You must be dominant in your personality and relationship, so much so that you and she acknowledge it and she embraces her submissive nature to enhance her own dominant, your own dominant one. You must trust her. Trust is another word for being able to predict someone's behavior. Trust encompasses knowing your girl's position in life, where she is mentally, emotionally, financially, professionally, such that how you know how she is going to behave. Your trust comes from the fact that you know she won't leave you because you're the man of her dreams. You've mastered yourself in the game, such as you know you're the one doing the choosing. There's a lot of reading in this thing.
Yeah.
It must always
He's
be
very
your idea.
explicit too, I
Yeah,
must say. For a
he's
passing article that, it's just like, yeah, it's just, it's just
yeah, yeah.
nonsense,
Just let me
just
explain something
dismiss
real
it.
quick to you.
Yeah, yeah,
It must always be your idea. If your girl brings it up and you insist over your protestations, you might as well just pack your bags, brother, because that
brother.
relationship is already dead. This experience is about you, your needs, and your desires. She will love it because you want it. Staying true to your own desires and not settling for anything less will turn her on. You must set the tone, the pace, and be the sole decider as to when, where, and if at all this actually goes down. You have complete and unfettered access to her phone and social media account should you choose to look. Myself, I like to look at the texts and Tinder messages from potential third parties because it turns me on. I use them, I use that energy and turn it right back around on her. Bottom line, you must be in control 100%. I guess if that's the way you feel about it. Have her do something with a young guy, assuming you're in a relationship with a younger woman, as you should be. Well, I've been into several relationships. Like I said, I'm on my third wife. Um, a couple of relationships were about 5 years older. A couple of relationships were about 5 years younger on average, and um, not always is that true. Not always is that true at all. You should have her um, bang a young guy on the side. This way, she really will only see him as a physical fling rather than only potential competitor for her loyalty. Your status, maturity, and vastly superior world knowledge will keep her secure. Well, that's not always true. Have fun. Check in on yourself. Or check in with yourself. Make sure you're enjoying it. If you're distressed, actually insecure, well, no, that's not true. If you're distressed, it's not actually considered insecurity all the way. I mean, some of it is, just the feeling of that's just wrong. His thoughts on this are disgusting. Feel like you're compromising yourself. Do not engage. Go back to step one and start over. This is meant to enhance your life, make you more vigorous, and hack your hormonal environment. If it's not lifting you up, then you should try something else. I mean, I'm 43 years old. I've never had an issue with feeling insecure in a relationship. It wasn't insecurity that ended the relationship. It was other things that ended those relationships. There's multiple different reasons for ending relationships. Some of this, or maybe all of it, is going to challenge many of you. Some of you are going to call it cuckold.
That's where,
Some of
as
us.
Sydney calls it, Sydney Watson calls it, it's where you hold a chicken very tight and you love it. That's what cuckolding is. He does love him some chickens. He has a chicken coop, you know.
We
Right?
won't
You know,
say
everybody,
this word.
all those people have chicken coops now.
Or accuse me of being somehow less of a man. Maybe you think I'm secretly gay. Well, we don't think that. We just think that you're
Well, I have a
dumb.
video that may prove that otherwise, from him
Well,
literally saying
we'll
something about that. I put that in the for you to look at and maybe bring up
oh,
if you want to
okay.
look at it.
I
It's in the the Shtick chat thing.
oh, okay. I didn't catch that before I
Show
came
setup.
here.
I just put it up here.
Oh,
As you were
okay.
reading that, I was listening there for a second,
Okay,
and I found
that
those, and
works.
I
We'll
just threw
bring
them
it
up
up
there.
that way if I don't already cover it with the several things that I got pulled up to go along with this.
Yeah.
If you're feeling any of those, you should probably look inside and ask yourself why. What I've decided for myself is making you feel that way. This is apex level stuff, like I said. It's it's not for the neophyte. It's not for those who are dominant in their relationship. It's not for those whose women are pushing that agenda. It is for those who have developed the mature as a man, who have learned about relationships and themselves in the process. Oh, believe me, I've learned about myself and my relationships and processes of actually having the relationship, but none of this ever occurred in any of those. If it was for those who begin to grasp what cultivating erotic energy means and comprehend it is essential to keep it alive in time of progress. And most importantly, it is for those who are willing to push the envelope within the bounds of a healthy relationship, understanding that the final frontiers of sexual exploration can only be done with a devoted, loyal partner. Follow me on Twitter. And then he goes and he puts his Twitter handle at the bottom. So we made our comments as we were reading this. Now, I've seen several other people actually read this, and it's not going to be the last time that it's going to be read. It's going to be read here. It's going to be read here within the next day by somebody else.
That is, if he doesn't use the
very
hundreds
very
of
well.
thousands. Yeah, yeah.
I'm pretty sure this will be read on Rikita because he's going to cover this stuff with Drax. That should be an interesting show.
It should. Definitely with Drax. Oh my god.
Right, with Drax, it's like, oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah.
So, so then what happens next is nobody really knows about this article that's there. Nobody's really there's a couple people that had, obviously, but a lot of us actually had no clue that even was a thing. Nobody had a clue it was a thing until us, and it showed up. It showed up on a TV show. Let's see. I got to make sure that I'm using the right. I'm going to the right place here first. Okay, so this clip comes from the Quartering. The Quartering had posted this, and this is where I got this from. And it says, this is Elijah. And he says, underneath it says Jack Murphy destroyed by Sydney Watson. New lies on Tim Pool revealed in another messed up article. Like I said, we're not going to get this done within the hour. We're going to be here for a little bit.
Could you please clear up the cuck article you wrote?
I am not going to talk about
Again?
this.
Okay.
And basically, you know what?
Me.
You for bringing this up right here and right now.
Me.
Why are you doing this to me?
I didn't know what it was.
Well, just use a little bit of common sense.
Sorry, apologies.
Yeah. You.
Elizabeth.
Heartfelt.
What?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Yes.
I was just taking a drink of my water.
I literally was just coughing. It's just an inconvenient cough.
At no point, not during the show, not before the show, not at any point in the entire time that I have known Jack, has it been told to me that A, this topic existed and this article in question existed, and B, that it was something that was off limits that we couldn't talk about.
But they didn't see the whole thing where I was like, let's not talk about that after I've addressed it. And then she brought it up again.
However, this was not said to us at any point during the You Are Here episode. When the show did end, Jack got up. I made an attempt to apologize or to at least ask what had happened and what had made him react that way. He told me to go fuck myself, or he either said go fuck yourself or he said fuck you again. I can't remember which. And then he left. For Jack, I will extend him the courtesy of assuming that he was purely mistaken in what he was saying and did not realize that he had not, in fact, set boundaries and that he had not, in fact, said that this was a topic
boundaries.
that he did not want to discuss, as you can clearly see.
Hashtag boundaries.
Hashtag boundaries. So, and I actually had her straight video pulled up. I was going to play her video as opposed to playing this one.
As opposed to her other video that's non-straight. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, like I said, I had her video pulled up because I was just going to show hers. Well, then I came across this one from the quartering, and I'm like, this is even better because he has it edited down to show, certain, specific parts, and it just works better for the situation.
He never said that.
But they didn't see the whole thing where I was like, let's not talk about that after I've addressed it. And then she brought it up again.
You sit on a throne of lies.
What's wrong?
I love the
Jeremy
quartering.
here
He's
from
the
the
best.
quartering, and I want to
Of course,
I'll
that's
acknowledge
Lofty
that
Pixels is
I
the guy
want
that
to
does
stay
all this
away
stuff, and
from
he does some
right
social
kind
media
of
stuff himself.
cancel.
Right. So, I mean, the quartering's the best. I really like him. And yes, Lofty Pixels is wonderful at what he does. He did a great job at doing, he just, at his all of his work is usually on point.
Culture, so to speak, when it comes to Jack Murphy. I've made one video on him, and I will make this second video and be done with it. I don't want the man canceled. I don't want him erased from the internet, but I do feel a greater responsibility to, well, in particular, the men that view my videos, men that may feel like people like him are going to provide some level of coaching on what it means to be a man. In my experience, anyone that claims to know what the secrets to being a man are is probably trying to sell you something. Whether it's Jordan Peterson or it's Jack Murphy selling his $100 a month, essentially chat room, these people, in my experience, are more interested in personal fame and branded masculinity, so to speak, than actually helping people.
Okay,
I don't think that
can we
there's any
actually play
better
this whole
way
thing?
to
Like this, is that
help.
what you're doing, Koolfrogg? Are you gonna play this whole video?
I was thinking so.
Well, I mean, it is his video after all.
But as long
play
as
a
we're
portion of it.
talking, as long as we pause and we talk about him every once in a while, it's fair use.
By the way, did you find this other article that he wrote that he brings up in this video? Because I didn't catch that. There's some Twitter link towards the top. Someone's name's in it, but I didn't catch
I
it.
got a few things other things that I have pulled up.
Because you could pull that up and make that bigger for people to look at. I mean, he does a pretty good job just in the video itself, but I mean, it's a screen within a screen, so.
It is. It's okay. We can kind of speed them up if we need to, but it's only a 16-minute video or 19-minute video. It's not like it's something, very tremendous. And I like Jeremy, so Jeremy from the Quadrant is one of the most intelligent guys out there right now. When
Oh,
it
and I
comes
do
to
have
doing the work.
I do have the clip from Tim Pool's thing pulled up. I put that in the
Sure.
show setup thing. So
Okay.
A man
it's like
be
2
a better
minutes.
man than to live the principle that you
And he does show
would,
this here.
that you would charge people for. I've got insider comments on what it was like to be in his $100 a month "This Is How to Be a Man" program, which is hilarious. Another devastating article resurfacing that is just eye-rollingly creepy. And
I'm pretty sure that's more than $100 a month. It was
Well, pull his website up. Actually, can you?
the liminal order.
Yeah.
You don't get to see the price points unless you actually go and actually try to actually become a member.
Really?
Yeah. So I had to actually do a few things or whatever to pretend I was going to become a member to see the price points. And yeah, it was there was a couple different variations in prices that you could actually put in there, whatever costs or whatever that you could actually spend your money on to be part of the liminal order. And to me it was just a little much, I guess.
And he does show it in the video. He
Right.
pulls it up.
So
And several other people have gone through and done that.
let's put him at 1 1/4.
But I was not aware you had to actually try and sign up.
He's going to talk a little quick because we put him at 1 1/4 as opposed to living at 1 speed.
a final
he's the
thought from
quartering,
Sydney
you
Watson,
know,
who
1 1/4.
basically demolished him last night. All of that after a quick word from this video sponsor. Huge shout out to this video sponsor, Established.
I mean, he does a couple different things on that, so I'm going to kind of skip a little forward on his shtick, his spiel that he throws out there. And you can see there's
Link below. That's establishedtitles.com/the quartering. Now, if you've been following the Jack Murphy saga, essentially this is a gentleman that appeared relatively out of nowhere and had preyed upon men seeking direction. Young men who
In
are
more ways
rudderless
than one.
or divorced men who are looking
You
for
might
kind
even
of
say women
this
as well.
new, I don't know, fraternity.
In
so
his
to speak.
life, of course.
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it wasn't
In more ways than one.
It wasn't
In
just
more ways than
intended for
monetarily.
as a men's club. It was intended for people that had issues all around to try fixing their life or whatever from, past experiences that they just didn't care for.
I don't think that all people who are offering self-help are inherently bad. I don't even believe that they don't intend to try and help people. But what I do think happens is
I do.
many of them, as Sydney puts it, LARP as what their product is. And they don't live that life. They aren't that way. And I'm protective of the men in my community. I've spoken at, I've attended MRA conventions, and there is an aspect to the quote unquote manosphere that is toxic and grifty. I don't want to name names, but I think you know who I'm talking about. There's nothing wrong with selling a product that, or an information product, but it's cringe in a lot of ways. Men who, dress like they're teenagers still, selling other men products to be a better man isn't what being a man is about.
Exactly. That's exactly right. It's not that's exactly what he just said is the way it actually should be. Jack's view on a lot of things just seemed to be, I mean, I thought he was a pretty cool dude. I bought his Democrat to Deplorable book. I haven't quite read through the whole thing yet, but I'm like, oh, this guy's fairly intelligent or whatever. But after reading and seeing things that what he's doing or whatever, it's like I might be better off trying to get a signature in that book.
It's what grifting is about. And with Jack Murphy having basically an old article get brought up in an impromptu situation, I think he was exposed. I believe that Jack Murphy doesn't respect women because if you did, you
Women.
wouldn't scream at them.
No, just
And
kidding.
the results have, been pretty swift. The event happens. He's losing 600, 500.
No, exactly. So he actually treated Sydney Watson with disrespect straight out. The second that she didn't know, she was just reading the super chat. She had no clue
Yeah, that
what
was something
gonna
on
happen.
Joe's stream when Joe was talking about it. He's kind of was like, hey, I mean, she probably does hold some responsibility because they can't read every super chat, but they literally do. Like that's their shtick. That's their shtick.
Right, that's their right. That's their state. Right, exactly. That's what
They
you
read every
when
single
you
super chat.
actually have a following, unlike ourselves apparently, you have the tendency to just go with the flow and keep going because you're on a time constraint. You don't have time to read things, twice, 3 times, whatever, question things to be sure that you're not asking a question that they don't
Yeah, I
want
know.
you
I
to
mean, like
ask.
we don't have time to go over all of our super chats. We don't even bother. Like
Man, if I could read all my super chats.
Losing hundreds of followers a day. And
I might have a nickel. Oh. Wait, not even that.
I think it's important that, Jack, he's, in my opinion, kind of weaseled his way into the conservative sphere, just like many of these manosphere grifters. And not all of them are, okay? But there are many. And there are a lot of men in these groups too that also hate women. That's not okay either. I see that when I go to MRA conventions. There's an aspect of that world of men that aren't just going their own way, but actively.
I was wondering the same
men's
thing. And
rights
I tried
something or
I really don't know. I tried figuring it out, and I'm like, is he saying NRA conventions, or is he saying MRA? It sounds like he's saying MRA. And I really seriously tried to do some research on that today. I didn't have a lot of time to do it because I was taking care of my son. But I'm like, what is that? So the few times that I got a chance to actually look, I found nothing. So I have
here it
no
is.
clue.
Men's rights movement, and MRA is men's rights activists. So it's an men's rights activist get together, I guess.
Okay.
That he's attended with some people that have talked about that sort of idea because of laws and things and so forth, and just societally or whatever, I guess. And they talk about it or whatever. I don't know exactly all the details. I just kind of looked at the definition here.
Okay.
But that's kind of the general idea.
I'm glad you actually had the chance to actually find that because, like I said, I tried doing it, but I didn't have a lot of time today.
Got to use that DuckDuckGo
women
there.
And
Brave.
these groups.
I use
intersect,
Brave, so
and there's a lot of house cleaning that has to happen there.
Good.
But when you write articles like this one, here's a brand new article. Do feminists have our fantasies? We'll say being taken against your will.
That are grape flavored.
This is an article that Jack Murphy wrote. And you have stuff like, what feminists deny is that healthy, vigorous tender time can and does include aggression and raising your hands. Men have a natural tendency towards dominance and women to passivity and submission. For a feminist who has rejected polarity and embraced sameness, this presents a paradox. The cognitive dissonance between her chosen dogma and the urge to get choked during tender time is painful. I assure you that even behind the most ardent feminist facade is a deep desire to be dominated and even degraded.
That's not right at all. Anybody that feels that they're supposed to be no, I know that's the way he whatever. When you think about it, if you feel that you need to be dominant over somebody, you're going to desensitize yourself to them. And that's why when Sydney goes and says something to him, he snaps. He snaps at her. F you. Why would you even bring that up?
He goes, snap, snap. Oh, no, you didn't.
I was just reading. I was just reading super chat. I'm sorry. I didn't realize what was going to come out of it. And you should know. Because everybody does research on Jack Murphy. Not everybody does their research on Jack Murphy and knows everything about Jack Murphy.
Yeah, if they did.
Right? If they did, he might not even have the following.
Yeah, he just, again, it's just, there's no logic to it. It's just shut up. Just shut up. That's just it. It's just
Right.
shut up. Don't talk about it. Don't say a word about it. I got to make
Disgusting.
my grifting money somehow, so just shut up.
The
F you.
constant refrains
That shit
otherwise
was
rely on
expensive.
an underlying self-hate. But fear not, there's a solution. Do you know what Jack Murphy's solution is? The R word.
The R word.
The grape flavored word.
Yeah, the grape flavored R word.
Oh my.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite the R word, but the R word. The kind of R word a man who loves his girl commits. Conducted under the auspice of consent. What? When a man and a woman tap into the power of the R word, they connect, and the R word
The
obviously put together what
power
it is.
of the R
The
word.
fundamental truth about our two
Otherwise known as forced. Being forced to do something that you may not want to do. That R word.
genders, we can kill you. Does that sound like a, to me, I don't sell $100 a month program, but I don't think that part of being a man.
Just stop it right there. We don't sell $100 program either. You know what we sell?
Shirts.
We're trying to sell ourselves. He's trying to sell shirts. All I'm trying to sell is that you go down and you click that subscription button. It costs you absolutely nothing to do it. Hit the like button for me so that my shows, kind of go up in value a little bit. Ring the bell so that you can
Ding-a-ling.
come back and you can see us on a nightly at midnight Central Time, Tuesday
Proper
through
time.
Saturday, because that's what we do. So
Is treating women like property. Being a man isn't trying to tap into women's id and take advantage of them in the bedroom. This is messed up. This is sociopathic. This is the type of stuff that pickup artists, a lot of these people come from. I'm actually finding out a lot. Like there's some interesting articles by Mike Cernovich that are troubling. To me, there is an inherent, responsibility of a man to protect a woman. I don't think you're not a man if you don't feel this. Is just my definition of it. I'm not selling you a program, but this is a guy who writes these type of articles. Now, this is an older article, 2015. It was 6 years ago, but it's sick. It's not written like some sort of BDSM guide. It's written.
And that's the interesting. It was all the way back in 2015. 6 years ago or whatever. I didn't even know this even existed until a week ago, when everything started going down. I'm like, well, wait a minute. What?
I mean, it's not like it's ancient history, folks.
But
I mean,
yeah,
5 years ago isn't ancient history.
No, not at all. But at the same time, 5 years ago on the internet, that's a long time ago.
On the internet. I do have
like
a little
weird
something
fantasy
to share.
Yeah, I see that
He writes even in the
put
comment
something up
section.
there.
Thanks
We'll pause this guy for a second.
It's just something funny, because he's like, the power, right? The power of the grape. Just power. Yeah. Anyway.
For
It's
the
the
reply, while
power.
you definitely get the larger it, you still succumb to your feminine instincts.
The power
Responding to
of
this
the
post.
grape.
Of course, the R word is devoid of love, and no one is advocating for actual R word. What I've advocated for is for women to relax their pearl clutching around consensual acts between adults. Feminists hide their own desires for fear of contradicting the narrative. It's like this guy sounds like a maniac. He also, I want to share just a message here of the interesting clip too. Quote, This is, so a lot of people talking about old articles, right? These articles are from a long time ago. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, this is from March 3rd, this year. Well,
he's so funny. Wah, wah, wah. That's that
Must be a
Wisconsin. That's that Midwest Wisconsin. Coming out, whatever.
Legit.
Me being from Minnesota, I understand his Wisconsin talk. Wah, wah, wah.
women mature way more quickly. At age 15, they are basically women already. Men hit their prime at 35. Why wouldn't a man in his prime latch on to a woman in her prime? Or in other words, why wouldn't a 35-year-old man date a 15-year-old woman? That's
when he says this, let it play and then go back to the article where he says other things. If you have that, do you have that pulled up? I can do that. I think I have that. Aaron, here's the article. But whenever he says it, pull that up right afterwards.
Whatever he says. Oh, what he's gonna say next?
Yeah, let the video play, and then whenever
Immature,
he
established
plays the video
35-year-old
in the
man
video.
cannot have a healthy, productive, fruitful relationship with a woman 10 years younger than him. I didn't say that.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying here.
Yeah. Let that play through. And he's talking really fast. You might want to slow it back down to normal speed.
That's what I'm like. Let me pull
Can't
this
understand
back
it.
here, and I'm going to slow this down to normal, so we can actually hear what this guy has to say.
Because he
Cannot
talks
have
really
a
fast.
healthy, productive, fruitful relationship with a woman 10 years younger than him.
I didn't say that. I just think
You just said they were immature and they shouldn't be matched up.
22.
Okay, 22, 23, 24.
Look,
Women mature way
10-year-olds who go
more-
to college.
Women mature way more quickly than men, dude.
That's
way
just-
more
it's
quickly.
preference.
At
Each their
age
own.
at age 15, women, they're basically women already. Right? And it's like,
Just because certain things can happen doesn't mean that they're. I mean, if I found out that some 35-year-old man was interested in my 15-year-old daughter, I'd be very, very upset with that 35-year-old man. He might not be around very long. Just saying.
men hit their prime in their 30s.
35.
Why wouldn't a man in his prime latch on to a woman in her prime? Why not? That seems the most logical thing possible.
That's what's happening.
Have you ever talked to a 15-year-old? Could you imagine dating them in your 30s? Just because their Aunt Flo visits them does not mean they're a woman, you creep.
Now pause it. Now go to
Okay.
the slide that I pulled up. Okay. Now just to refresh everybody's memory.
Go
Okay.
and can you hit it? I can't really see it, so. if you
Oh, is
wanna-
it not?
I can't see it. If you can read it, you can go ahead and read it.
Okay, it's looking clear to me on my end.
No, and it's just because what's going on is it's showing up in my StreamYards. It's not on my regular screen, so it's
Oh.
showing really small.
But yeah. If you remember, I've had
Relations.
certain types of people
Uh-huh.
and little, and then you know what I did? I tied them all up. Huh. Isn't that interesting?
Disgusting.
Isn't that interesting?
Very disturbing and disgusting all at the same time.
Now everyone keeps saying, maybe it's he's talking. He's just his first article about sending his wife out to spend time with other men.
Well, maybe no. Well, maybe not.
That's just kink shaming. Okay, fine. What about the article about how the R word is cool? Oh, that's just kink shaming. Okay. What about this? What about this? Him saying
Screaming
at
Allahu Akbar
35,
and
you
running
should be
down the
hooking up with
street
a
and blowing up a
15-year-old.
building full of people. That's just kink shaming people. That's just how dare you shame that
dare
type
you.
of behavior. How dare you? Like,
That's
God.
funny.
You're so disrespectful to people's religious beliefs. Like, it's just ridiculous. Get over yourselves. Get over your transphobia or your grape-ophobia. You know, just get over it, people.
Because it's just normal and
Immoral
you
behavior
should
can
allow
be
it to
covered by the
occur.
guise of a kink, and it's just perfectly fine. Just shut up. Some people may say amoral, but
How about him trying to pressure Nick Rekieta into silence?
oh, and this is great, by the way. Like he's trying to get Nick Rekieta to shut up.
I wanted kind of your read on how you thought I might take.
Like anybody's gonna convince Nick Rekieta to shut up. That's not ever gonna happen.
And then again, as we just said, he's going to do a show with Drex about it. I mean, if anyone has watched those shows with Drex and Nick, it's over.
Right, just watch any show with Drex and Nick together. Oh my lord!
Especially about something like like this kind of topic. Like he's toast. He should have never stepped foot in that area.
The second that episode airs, the world's gonna explode around. It's gonna explode around him. It's gonna be like, oh no, because Nick Rekieta, if you actually look at his following, 337K as of today. I'm like, geez.
And Jack Murphy keeps dropping.
He just continues
he
to
said
grow.
something along the lines of, "Hey."
That being said, I have 15 subscribers.
Yeah.
I'd like to hit the 1,000. Hitting the 1,000 subscribers would totally help me out. It'd be great. It'd be wonderful. Anybody that's interested should go down, hit the subscribe button, bump the like button, share it out, and ring the bell, because that's what we do to other YouTube creators, is we help them out by hitting that subscribe button.
You don't look very good right now to our mutuals. So you may want to consider taking down those tweets.
And then Ty's response in his ugly sweater is just fantastic.
Well, first of all, Nick, I think I have, generally speaking, been a very accurate predictor of how you would react. Remember early on in our friendship when I told that lawyer for the Dynasty guys, you don't want to fuck with that guy.
You can tell that they had both been drinking.
Like I'm gonna change my opinion because of a mutual.
Yeah, and so
watch out for the mutuals.
This is Jack Murphy trying to, silence Nick Rekieta. And last night, Sydney uploaded a video which also exposed an interesting lie that Jack Murphy told on the Tim Pool podcast. Tim Pool allowed Jack a platform to defend himself.
He allowed him the platform. He allows him the platform every other Wednesday. I mean, seriously, the guy is like one of the most frequent guests on Tim Pool beside Luke Radowski.
A lot of people are dumping on Tim for this. Look, I appreciate the loyalty. I'm not going to dump on Tim for that. And if he wants to have Jack on a show forever, I'm never going to tell Tim to not host Jack. But what I am going to do is make sure that people know who Jack really is.
So that when he comes on, they can spam the chat.
Said that.
Yeah, exactly. That's
God, the chat is so brutal on that show. Holy crap. Like every freaking time that like Alex Jones gets on his show, it's like the chat is just like going.
I seriously cannot even try
it's
paying
insane.
attention to Tim Pool's chat. Tim Pool's chat is ridiculous. There's so many people that are continuously saying something about everything. And you just like, it makes your brain hurt when you see that many people are talking about it. And it's like, look at my chat. There's so many people talking in my chat right now. I can barely bear it right now. There's one person that said something. Oh, that was me that said something at 1:24 today. It said, "Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell."
That he had previously told Sydney Watson and Elijah Schaefer that he didn't want to talk about this article. But that was a lie, according to Sydney's video. I believe Sydney. Sydney is a friend of mine and has no real reason to lie about it. And you can see interesting stuff going on here.
What was happening? My initial thought was, okay, don't understand this. Not entirely sure what's happening here. Best to finish the show and then deal with this privately. When the show did end, Jack got up. I made an attempt to apologize or to at least ask what had happened and what had made him react that way. He told me to go fuck myself, or he either said go fuck yourself or he said fuck you again. I can't remember which. And then he left. At that point,
real apex behavior. Stormed off the set, you know, and again, all this because Sydney didn't know that he didn't want to talk about this article where he admitted to being a cuckold.
And which goes back to what we were saying. When she had no clue. She didn't pre-read her whatever, her super chats.
And why should she? She's reading off the super chats. That's what they
Right,
do.
she's
People
just reading
pay
the super chat.
and they give them the funds and they set it themselves there on the show. It's like, hey, you all are the people that run this place. You all the people that, that pay the, what do they say? Like, you all the ones that pay the bills or something like that.
Right.
And, and so like, that's what they do. That's the acknowledgement. They just
We're
read
brought
off
to
every
you
single
by
super chat.
you. Without your assistance, without your help, we don't have this fundage to actually, so if the second that you see somebody actually pay for a chat, you have the tendency to read it straight out. I've watched Nick Recated for the last 2 years, and that's what he does. He goes and he reads that stuff straight out.
He admitted to it. He said multiple times he had enjoyed watching other men please his wife, and that's fine. But to me, that's not masculine.
I agree with Jeremy on that one. It's not masculine at all.
I mean,
It's
I guess it's
disgusting.
legal.
Well, if it's not though, that's the thing. It's not legal. So I mean, if you talked about it beforehand and you had rules set to be able to do that, it's no longer called that.
Hashtag boundaries.
And really, the way he acted is why people are unfollowing him. Not because he wrote this cringe article 5 years ago, but not because there's this.
Wait.
Really
Pause that.
cringe
Pause
article
that.
from 5 years ago.
Hold up. Hold up. Well, I mean, again, just so that we're all
okay. So
just so that we all understand. I mean,
this is where I was actually going to stop the video or whatever, because I actually have this stuff pulled up. So that being said, thank you, Jeremy from the Quadrant. Thank you, Lofty Pixels. You guys did a wonderful job on your video. I mean, obviously, they've made me want to actually use their stuff. So I'm going to leave it just in case we want to go back to it for whatever reason. But I had brought up this here. Let's see.
But if you could bring up the thing that I'm sharing, just a quick review,
Yeah,
just for a couple of
absolutely,
seconds,
brother. Here you go. We'll add that up while I'm bringing this up.
I mean,
go ahead.
I've had, blank with, with those, right. And then little, those, and then I tied them all up, but hey, I know everybody wants to give people the, the benefit of the doubt of like, people aren't really going to be all that concerned about an article that was written 5 years ago. Well, I mean, this is a little bit more than just simply, well, I had a mutual consent from these people, and we did a bunch of weird or kinky things or whatever. It's like, you know, this is kind of a little different than that. It's a little concerning, one might argue. And then, of course, the other clip that he pulled up, that was about that when he was on Tim Pool's show talking about, you know, how girls mature when they're 15. Now, folks, if you are listening to our lovely broadcasts here, broadcast, I mean, do you remember the thing we went over with CNN? What was the comments that the producers at CNN said? Both of them, actually. They both said, talking about teenage girls, that, well, a girl is a girl no matter how old she is. She's a girl, you know, like, you know, this making up of excuse. Well, not a girl, a woman. A girl is a woman. Just, you know, whenever the age would be that we want to have relations with her, then she's a woman. Like, that was the excuse. That was the thing that they said, was that, you know, they're women. Women are women, no matter what age they are. They're 14, they're 13, they're whatever. And that's their quote. I mean, we read it off from the Daily Mail and stuff. I mean, like, that's what these
Right.
MAPs.
They're trying to make it normal that it's okay to actually, you know, do something with somebody
So-
that's that much younger than yourself. It's not normal.
Yeah. And so it's a little more, I mean, not only is everything that we've been talking about here very strange and very, you know, wow, that's not at all masculine, or he's a fake and he's a fraud. That all is true. But then you go into that, you know, I just pulled up there, and then the clip from Tim Pool, and you kind of piece some things together, and it's not at all, it's not just a weird picture. It's not just a non-pretty picture. It's a little concerning.
So this is what Jeremy from the quartering was actually going to go on to next. He goes and he reads this. He says, "Unfortunately, it wasn't my best moment when I sniped sniped at Sydney Watson. I apologized the next day. In a follow-up podcast, I wasn't clear with my words regarding what happened, and it appeared that tried to transfer blame to her. Not my intent, but that's how it looked. People can roast me for whatever. That's part of being online. But I definitely wasn't trying to transfer my own personal responsibility to Sydney or anyone else. I own it 100%. My apologies again, Sydney. Happy New Year, and I look forward to your next show." He's never going to be
Wow.
invited back on that show. If he is
Wow.
ever re-invited back on that show for whatever reason, I'll totally lose all respect for Elijah and Sydney Watson. They should not allow him back on that show after that. After yelling at you, getting up and storming out the room, that's the last he needs to have anything to do with you. But obviously it continued to, you know, persist and go and move on to needing him to actually apologize to you because he knows he was wrong. His apexness wasn't quite apex enough for what he needed it to be. If you couldn't see that, I used my fingers in quotes on that. It just seriously, it's just ridiculous and stupid. So
Yeah,
then
you
you
should
can
read
kind of
his
see some of
initial
the comments on
response,
that. What's that?
You should read. I mean, I don't know if you have this, but I mean, like, if you read his initial response to you know, the whole incident on their show, he's very dismissive, and he's very, you know.
I do have a couple other things that I'm going to pull up here, whatever, from him.
And then, of course, here's this one, and this is.
I'm not
after that.
blocked from Jack Murphy quite yet, so I like went on his page and I kind of moved
Yeah, I know,
through some
because
of his
people can
stuff.
say whatever they want to, right? Right? You know, people can roast me or whatever. It's part of being online, which is why he paid the Wayback Machine to literally wipe it off the internet so people can't pull it up very easily, because a lot of people use the Wayback Machine. But whatever, that's what Jack Murphy uses all of those funds from, is to make sure that all of his people that are following him don't actually find out who he is. But hey, it's just the internet. You can roast him. You can say whatever you want about him. That's fine. That's
this
totally
guy,
fine.
This guy right here, the
Right?
beer capitalist. This is the one that actually gets me. This is some men are you. You go on someone else's show. They bring up something from a super chat in good faith, and you react emotionally rather than acknowledging what they brought up and talking about it, as if have to walk on eggshells around you to protect your feelings.
Yeah, it's like if you're such a big man, and like, I mean, look at this tweet here that he wrote. He's like, I 100% own it. Then why didn't you 100% own it on the freaking show when they brought it up in front of all of those people? Instead of hiding behind a keyboard, you were right there on camera in front of people with a mic in your face. Tell him that you own it, but he can't do that. Can't
Right.
seemingly do that.
So
He
then
can say
somebody
it after the fact, though, on Twitter.
Right. So then
That's
somebody
fine.
replies to him, this Jocelyn Rochelle. She says, "Yeah, that was not a good faith, LOL. I know you think she's pretty, but he had said 5 minutes earlier that he didn't want to talk about it and was visibly upset, and she pushed. Not that he should have snapped, but if you want to be to be the kind of person who pushes people and asks."
What the hell?
I mean, right? It's like, where do you get that from? Really? Oh,
Well,
'cause
and most people
'cause,
do have that assumption that people don't really read over every single super chat,
right?
and that they don't make that mandatory, and they actually like scan through their super chats and they kind of filter certain ones out and stuff. They freaking read everything. Like,
and that's
so
what would
that's
happen here
that's what they do.
if we actually got even just a regular chat from somebody. Chances are, I'm going to read off the whole chat, just because I'd treat it like a super chat, even though it wasn't
We
a
have to
super
use
chat.
the code word Yahtzee. I mean, we can still can make it work.
It'd be like going back in the days when Joe Neiman first started or whatever, and if you wanted something read or whatever, you put super chat before it in big letters, and he would actually read it. So then Beer Capitalist comes back, even if it wasn't in good faith, and I have no reason to believe it, it wasn't. There's a proper way to handle such situations. To get upset and start cussing someone out was totally uncalled for and seriously unprofessional, to say the very least.
I think his whole life is unprofessional.
Right. So then she
His
comes
whole
back.
life's a fraud. And so I said,
right.
I
So then
mean,
she
like,
comes back. The only people
your
who
whole
see
entire
it
life
this
is a
way
fraud.
are the very, very lonely guys who want to be a white knight. But they're both the jerk in the situation, and the people have real problems right now. Like people who are really struggling, and all Sydney and Elijah will talk about is somebody saying. I mean, it's so petty. My dad said meaner things to me at 4 years old. She's got some major other issues that are going along that stem from her younger age from her dad. So, I mean, her thoughts on it necessarily are kind of misconstrued.
So just
because
excuse it because people feel bad, So
right. Oh,
I
we
mean,
feel
if
bad
if
for
I'm
you.
feeling bad today, and if Koolfrogg was standing in front of me, I could just like punch him right in the nose because I was really pissed off today because somebody made me mad, and I got to take my anger out on somebody, right?
Right.
It's how we get our stress out. It's just like randomly spouting at people live on air in front of thousands of other people that are watching. Like, like that's what you're supposed to do, right? Right. Anyway, the
I like I like some of the memes that come out of it. The
It's so good.
DuckTales one was hilarious as well.
Cucktails. Oh my gosh, there's a very disturbing one from South Park that someone put up. I think it was something like, "This one's not going away anytime soon."
So then this guy, the dad writes stuff, says, "Bro, I watched the clip. If you and Sydney Watson are cool, you should just stop apologizing." I know it's hard, but I would suggest taking a day or two, regrouping, and then just moving on. You can't get trolls to stop trolling. Apparently, Dad that writes stuff actually has something to say about something or whatever, and
Well, he
mhm.
can't. He can't do this. He's a fraud. He's a sociopath. He is a habitual liar. He has to keep the fraud going, or else his whole life is going to crash and burn. His bills aren't going to get paid. He has to do this. This is his last resort. This is an animal backed up into a corner, and he's just clawing at everybody now because he's been caught. I mean, that's what he is. That's what's
I
happening.
mean,
It's so
people
obvious.
come up with I thought this was a squash. This was squashed.
Thought this was squashed.
Yeah, I thought it was done with. I thought you didn't have any, whatever. I'll be damned. People aren't letting this go. Nobody's gonna ever let it go. You brought it to the internet. The internet's never gonna stop talking about how cucked you are.
Yeah, legit. And how much of a liar you are.
Just to own up to the article, say everyone has done something sexually they're not proud of. You've moved on and grown up. This Streisand effect, drawing more attention to it, is the least alpha thing you could possibly do, and it undermines all other work. This second paragraph is perfect. Drawing more attention to it is the least alpha thing you could possibly be doing, and undermines all of your other work. Exactly. Because
Yeah,
you
'cause he's a
keep on
fraud.
bringing it up, that's why we're going to keep on bringing it up. And everybody else that has anything to do with being online is going to bring it up.
And this is what all of these like cult people on freaking like TBN and like all these other freaking places, they sell you these books, these self-help books, all these other people that are over the internet you see advertisements for on YouTube sometimes, or other places, like like here's my thing to like win $1 million, or like here's my thing to do this, or here's my thing to do that. It's just a bunch of grifters, liars. They want you brought
No
up
matter
into like
what
some
anybody
kind of a
says
cult
about Jack
type of
Murphy, I
thing.
do like the beard. The beard is not weird. It's pretty cool. It's his natural form or whatever. That's just the way it comes through.
Its natural form is you're looking at the picture in his natural habitat.
Sperm wars. Because he's holding her hand.
Oh my. Oh my.
Oh my. So I mean, there's that. Let's see here. And then there was this other thing that I come across, because I'm
And
not.
by the way, can I just
I'm
mention
not
too?
banned. What's up?
Can I just mention too? I mean, does anybody actually listen to the way this guy talks? I mean, the guy literally sounds like a freaking what do I want to say? Like what do you call it? Like a California girl or whatever. He almost sounds gay. I mean, he almost sounds like he's freaking, he has that like, like that intonation and that kind of nasally sound to his voice and whatever when he talks. And then he talks like really fast and then he slows down and then he talks really fast again. It's like, holy crap. Does anyone else not notice this about him, by the way? Like, I haven't heard anybody say that, but he literally sounds like he's just, he has that intonation in his voice. He has the way in which he talks like that. And it's like, yeah, and you're supposed to be Mr. Alpha, and you sound like a freaking girl when you talk. Like, what the freak? Anyway. Oh yeah, somebody said like Glenn Beck.
This one. So
like,
I went
Glenn
through Beck. And I was gonna actually pull up the quartering thing or whatever as well. I didn't actually pull it up and have it saved as a tab for myself to actually pull it into the screen, because it actually gets covered in this one to a point. So the quartering says, "Jack, are you seriously calling me a sexual predator? You knew who my lawyer is, right?"
I was just looking at something else.
There was more. There was more to this, if you actually pull up the quarterings, Twitter or whatever, and you can actually see what's actually said before he actually says this. So then Jack comes back. My fiance and I are victims of revenge porn, scandal, bisexual predator, the quartering. This is what he said to get the quartering to say that. A close associate of Sydney Watson, Elijah Schaefer, and others at the Blaze. I hate bringing attention to this, but this is sexual violence and beyond the pale.
Oh
At
my,
Glenn Beck, what do you say? What,
oh my
why
God.
are you bringing Glenn Beck into this? What's Glenn Beck have to do with any of it?
Because he's now doing what's called the Karening. Because again, he is not
The
a
pointing of the
man.
finger
He's
and
for
saying,
all
"Oh,
practical
look."
purposes, like again, like a cuck, a woman. Like let's go straight to the boss. Like, excuse me, Mr. Beck. You had on your The Blaze, Elijah Schaefer's show, and I was uncomfortable. It's like,
This guy, I really like this guy, Lord Brian Orso, the lead guitarist. He's awesome. Everything that he posts is just hilariously great. I just love his stuff. It says, "Soothe the pants off this cuck, Jeremy." This is Duck Dynasty, Cuck Dynasty.
oh my God.
Sydney Watson,
I mean, again, he's basically saying like, "Oh yeah, we apologized, we're over it," and now he's literally saying that because she brought it up, somehow now there is a revenge porn scandal that's being brought up by the quartering. And then he's a close associate of Sydney Watson and Elijah Schaefer, who and others at The Blaze, which I was on, of course, because that's the assumption that he's making there, right? He's trying to draw it in, but yet he's like, I forgave them, or like, I quote unquote, like buried the hatchet, if you will, right? Like we got over it, like we were talking, they apologized, we apologized, la-di-dee, la-di-doo. Now he's literally trying to group him and The Blaze into a revenge porn scandal.
right.
Like, wait a minute, but you just said that everything was okay.
So the LawTube
now
actually
you're
jumps
accusing
in.
him of this?
LawTube
Sexual
actually jumps in
violence?
on this one. He's, Legal Mindset says, added to the topic list for tomorrow morning stream. This is yesterday. He says, going to switch from calling Jack lumbercuck to defamation cuck.
Indeed. Indeed.
So, when LawTube actually gets in on it, sorry, dude. He's seriously pulling a revenge porn dodge. It's official. This man's career is rip.
Yeah, well. Oh, okay. That's not that. What's his face? He's using his emoji.
Vito.
That is Vito. Is that
This
Vito?
This is Vito.
Oh
Yeah,
God.
this is Vito.
Yeah, well, your career was over when you freaking flagged. Freaking F&T.
Right, a guy
Your
that's
career
lost
was
his
over at
shit
that point.
is gonna call somebody out that
You're
they're
going
gonna
down.
actually
You
lose
went
their
downhill ever
shit.
since.
Crying to Glenn Beck, my God, how the mighty have fallen.
I mean, that's legit what he's doing. He's like, well, Glenn Beck, you want to say anything about this? Glenn
I've fallen
Beck?
so far that
you
I
like to
can't pull
explain
myself
yourself?
out of the shit.
What the hell?
Can Glenn Beck help me?
Yeah.
Oh, this is
Insane.
just funny. His whole brand is, I used to be a terrible person. My life got turned upside down by a liberal cancel culture, and I built myself back up. If that's true, he should have owned up to his past instead of raging over people daring to bring him up. Worst thing he could have done.
And another thing also I'd like to bring up is that in the video of the quartering and in Sydney Watson's video specifically, she talks about how Elijah afterwards caught up with him and took him out for a drink to try and calm him down, sit down with him, talk with him, like what went wrong? Like, are you okay? Like, can we, somehow work this out? Because there's a lot of people that, that like him, that like, Sydney and Elijah as well. And so, like, if there's anything that we can, talk about, I mean, because you seem really offended, like, can we, and just not even just for professional things, but like just personally, like, because they don't want him, because, they're decent people. They don't want him to just walk away and mistakenly think that, they were trying to go after him or something. I mean, if they really do need to explain themselves, if he's that dense, then so be it. Like, let's have a conversation, sit down, chillax. We both have a beer. You talk to me, what's up, just trying to be civilized about it. And people give him crap for that because, like, oh, well, you're just taking him out for whatever after he just swore at her. It's like, no, like, he did it to try to, get him into a calm position to, be able to talk and chat. And again, it's like, oh yeah, like, we apologized, and he did all this stuff. Like, he took him out to dinner. He took him out to a place to have beer. I'm guessing he probably paid for it. That's my assumption. I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? It's like he goes out and he does this courtesy even after all this stuff that they swore and that he did this stuff. And now look at this post. He is saying that the quartering is out here bringing up a revenge porn scandal. And now the quartering is a close associate of Sydney Watson and Elijah Schaefer. It's like CSI or whatever. It's like, crime show. And he's like connecting the dots. And it's like, oh, and it all goes back to the Blaze. And oh my, Glenn, what do you have to say to yourself? Like, what do you have to say for yourself? It's like, what the hell? Like, he literally just took you out for a dinner to talk, to chill, to, get this done. And then you were all like, oh yeah, sure. Everybody's forgiven. Everybody's, whatever. It's like, apparently not. He still wants to blame these people. He still wants to go after. So yeah.
Right. So this guy says, chat, I shouldn't have unfollowed so quickly. LOL.
Shite.
LOL. You can't call it revenge porn when it's porn that's shot and put out there. Once you put something on the internet, it's there forever.
And ever. I mean,
there was a couple other good ones that were in here. Just a thought, maybe all the persons involved in this are manufacturing controversy for clicks. All friends behind the scenes. Just a thought. Well, that could be the thing, but
it's like all of these people got in the back room and were like, know what?
They're all
we're going to create a giant
like,
scandal and like cuss each other out, whatever.
Yeah, Jack, we're going to bring up this 6-year-old article and we're going to talk about it and we're going to rip into you. You'll be okay. We're just going to shut down your following because you're making thousands and thousands of dollars a month and you don't need it.
But hey, Alex Jones was the conspiracy theorist when he talked about the NWO.
Right.
And then we have the video of the mayor of Chicago, Beetlejuice, fish face.
Wait, revenge porn? Doesn't that have something to do with, or doesn't that have to be something you stole? Like, if it's already out there, how is that on you? Oh, I didn't mean to click that. Is it revenge porn if you upload your public chatterbait recordings and all someone does is point out they exist? Pretty sure that's not a thing. No, it makes it fair use. The second that you put something out there, somebody else can totally go and watch it as long as they're doing something else, as long as they stop, they pause, and they say something about it. If they actually even have a camera pointed at them, all they have to do is look at the camera and make a weird eye roll or a wink or a whatever, and that counts. It's the only time it's called sniping or whatever. Well, how what they call it is when when you just go and you play their stuff through, and then you have nothing to say about it. You just playing their stuff to play their stuff, so you get clicks. So, and obviously, I mean, I'm not catching any clicks off nothing anyway. You can see my chat; it's just a popping, right?
Oh yeah, I'm just waiting on Glenn Beck to put out like a freaking video or like talk about it on his radio show for like 5 minutes and just completely dismiss him and
So
like just throw it aside.
after tonight's show, I almost think that Jack Murphy might kind of catch on, and he might actually put me and you into this. The tweets are protected, whatever, and protect his
Oh,
account from
we're-
us
we're in-
because
Are we? In the
we
giant
just might have
conspiracy?
something to do with with everything.
Close associate of the quartering and Sydney Watson.
And of course, TDS is still a thing. One of Donald Trump's greatest superpowers was the ability to trigger people to the point where they were unable to maintain their cast persona and reverted to publicly projecting their true self for the world to see.
Indeed.
I now see it is not the only one with this power.
I mean, if we want to talk about, if we want to talk about power, it's not
Yeah.
the grape. It's not the grape that has power. It's not the grape with power. It's the person. It's the person with the microphone and the keyboard.
This one, I think it was this one that I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." So this phrase says, "Who's your lawyer?" Oh, that's not
You're
what I
my
wanted.
lawyer?
I'm not looking to reply. I want the replies from it. Damn it. The half Asian Kraken Bill Richmond. Saul Goodman. Clench your teeth. I'm going in dry.
He may
Matt
know.
from Tinder. Bill,
Surprise.
Bill. Matt.
Surprise, it's Matt.
Bill Richmond, same lawyer as Steven Crowder. That's half Asian Bill to you.
Oh yeah, it's the half Asian zone.
The Kraken. Half Asian lawyer Bill Richmond? Half Asian super lawyer Bill Richmond. It's a good thing he got super half. Secret Asian man. I'm just like, oh my God, you gotta be kidding. They just got better and better as they went through. They're like, oh, there's the Kraken. He's half Asian? I heard he's Asian. He's Asian, half Asian. That's it. That is. Oh, I thought it was Asian Andy Wad, dude, lawyer. You have none. You're just using this as a threat surgery to your YouTube's whipping boy. I mean, they just went off and they're like, oh, yeah, it's this guy. Who's your lawyer? Oh, man.
I mean, if he wants to push this, I mean, let's go. I mean, I want to see this go. I want to see this go down. Like, I want to see Nick Rekieta and freaking Good Logic, like, and all these other people, like, go over this case.
Well, Nick Rekieta and Drax are gonna go over it tomorrow with a bunch of stuff.
No.
So who knows?
I know that. Right, but I'm
What-
talking like I want there to be like a legal case to go forward. I want
you
him
want,
to like
you want
try
a
and, like,
legit
take
legal
people to court.
case. I get you.
I want him to
So
like
this-
go. I want him because he's such a man. I want him to go forward with this and like, okay, you say it's this. Let's go forward with this. Come on, let's go at it. You want to keep defaming people and go crazy like this? Like let's go. Let's
This
go to
guy
town.
right here goes and says my whole entire thought. WTF? Who's pulling? He's pulling in Glenn back. Raffle. Of all people, hold my beer. For reals? Lol.
Someone put up on. I looked at someone's like a little meme. It said, "When Glenn Beck finds out he was tagged by Jack Murphy," and it was like Santa Claus from what is it? I think is it what is that movie? Is it Miracle? It's not Miracle on 34th Street. No, God, no, it's not that one. What is it? Forget. But it's a Christmas movie with Santa Claus having like a shorter beard. So they it's kind of reminiscent of Glenn Beck's look now, like in the glasses, and he's looking at like some newspaper, and he looks up, and his eyes get wide, like, and it kind of pans a little bit. It's like
Publicly available
pretty funny.
porn equals revenge porn. Was it posted online without the actor's consent? Doesn't matter. It was already in the public domain.
And of course, he
Wait.
puts his laboratories-
Don't tell me there's tapes from Jack Goldstein too. Wait, that wasn't a joke. That pic of him was actually legit. Awful.
Oh my God. Okay.
What do you got?
Pull up. Do you want me to pull it up, or do you have it pulled up?
No, go ahead. Pull it up, whatever you want to pull.
Okay.
up,
Okay.
'cause
Let me.
It'd be easier that way.
This
I'm gonna
is-
finish my glass of whiskey here real quick.
Do this. And I got it up twice. Crap. X out. Here we go. Do. This is pretty bad. Now I don't know when this was, but this does look an awful. This video does look an awful lot like a certain somebody that we've been talking about.
So if you're gonna play the video, go hit the expand real quick. It's just gonna expand to this screen. There you go.
69 for 69, guys.
69 for 69.
Yes, I have definitely fucked guys before. Oh, I'm hetero flexible. I should put that in the bio.
You should, yeah. Everyone asks.
Everyone asks.
Yeah.
All the guys want to know.
We love our guy fans.
Ah,
I especially love Daddy's fans.
69 for 69, guys. Oh. 60.
Yeah.
Oh, so there's that.
There's that.
There's that.
Oh my lord.
So I mean,
this person here I wish it were the 90s again. Says, oh well, that didn't take long, did it? Tweets are protected. Like I said, he didn't block me quite yet, so Oh, geez, that's not what I imagined happening. Boy, this saga's getting good.
Oh God.
Glenn is ignoring him.
I want him to go on and like keep trying to tag Glenn, and then I want Glenn to like react in in his normal Glenn Beck fashion and be like, "What the hell?"
This guy
On
goes
his
and
show.
this guy goes and tags Rakita Media and says you might have new law material soon.
Indeed, as I was just saying, right? Exactly. I mean, legit though, like if he keeps going on Twitter, if he continues this, if this is just one time that I'm aware of, if he keeps doing this, this would be, in my opinion anyway, probably would be a call for like, defamation. Because you're accusing them of revenge porn and sexual violence. Sexual violence. He's accusing Sydney Watson, Elijah Schaefer, and the Quartering of sexual violence, and then he wants Glenn Beck to say something about it.
Right.
Because he's, head of the
he's
blaze.
Glenn Beck. So this one here says, has Timcast commented on this? I need to know if he will have Jack back on, or is Jack off now? Lamau. If Tim tips him enough tokens, Jack will do anything, apparently.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh my. Oh, there's a lot of those going around tonight.
So this guy comments to himself. So I mean, it's kind of interesting, I guess. It says Jack doesn't know, but he's possibly backing the law with that in his claim. I hate saying this because sometimes it's true. Once a leftist, always a victim.
He says breaking the law. It's a correction.
Breaking the law
Typo.
with this claim. Oh,
I'm
see.
sorry, my dog was backing.
Possibly breaking.
I gotta
the
correct
law
myself from my
with
Boston
that.
accent.
Excuse
me.
I gotta correct myself.
I gotta correct myself there. Excuse me.
Do I need to care about this story? Does Jack M's
Yes, you do.
racy photos matter? Does it somehow invalidate his publicity stated world views?
Indeed it does.
Asking $4,000 to be an alpha male while hiding the fact that you're getting in the butt and is into cucking, it sure seems hypocritical to me. It sounds like he's screwed.
Oh
It
my.
sounds like he got screwed.
Oh my.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
True.
just, it's crazy.
Yep, truly an alpha move. Take notes.
Take notes. Hopefully on what not to do.
And obviously there's comments after some of these comments, but I'm not going to click on every single one of them and actually bring them up, because we're actually going on 2 hours of our hour-long show. So somewhere in this month, we're going to have to cut a day out and be like, no, we're not doing an episode tonight. Who knows where that will be and what will happen, but
worth it.
I might actually have to do an individual. I mean, there's ways to actually do this on something other than StreamYard to actually bring somebody in. I just have to have the time to sit down and actually do the work to get it to work.
All right.
I just don't have the time. I do what I can in the little time that I have. I don't think Jack understands how to not dig his grave deeper at this point. I get he's trying to take others down with him, but you would think he would catch on that he's only digging his own grave deeper without so much as scratching anyone else.
Oh yeah, because like I said, he's a sociopath. He's a habitual liar. He set himself up as this sort of cult leader, and if you'll only pay him $100 a month and 3,000 or 4,000 a year or whatever, then he will teach you all of the great secrets about masculinity. If only you give me my big bucks, then you will have the secrets of the universe of masculinity. I mean, it's what they do, and then they get backed into a corner, and they get called out, and then this is the reaction that they have. He's a rabid animal backed into a corner, and he's just going batshit.
Wait, is he trying to get Sydney fired with this tweet?
No shit. No shite. No shite. No shite.
the memes just don't stop. That's the fun one.
Oh my gosh.
There's Jack. He's in the window. Oh, that's funny.
But it's only because he picks up a chicken and holds it and loves it. Right? That's cuckolding.
So
right?
that being said, we're gonna take this screen out of here. Yeah, we did that one too. Well, it looks like we pretty much did everything. The only thing we didn't do is this. Gotta bring this up. Just because it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. We need to bring this up. If we don't bring it up, it kind of seems wrong, and it's hard to end an episode.
Oh, it would be the most immoral, horrible thing you could ever do. No, so.
It's hard to end an episode without it. So
the most based t-shirts.
This is AmericaShirtsAreFirst.com. This is his website. You should actually check it out. He's, like he said, the most based t-shirts on the planet.
Yep, you can be a walking billboard of health to everyone around you. Go grab that shirt, share it away, share the good news away. And again, there's Bill Gates. There's Bill Gates. Again, I had someone over when it was Christmas time and all that, and a relative, and they thought the Bill Gates shirt was pretty neato. They thought it was cool and funny, and they wanted to take a picture of it. Of course, they enticed a discussion in which I replied, and I went forward with it, but they didn't really like the response. But but they thought it was funny, and they took pictures and they posted it on the internet. So hey, keep the message going around, keep the truth going around. Let's that's the point. So, and of course, to grab yourself the shirt yourself, go to the site and grab the shirt yourself.
You got any promo codes going on still?
Oh well, yeah.
You see the prices on these shirts. These shirts, $16.87 to $34.14. That seems to be about the average. What kind of promo code you got going on right now? Christmas still going?
Is Christmas still going? Yes, Christmas. Yes, Christmas.
Christmas is still going for
Christmas is
through
still
the end of
going.
the week.
That was something I posted on Koolfroggs, but yes. I mean, Koolfroggs. Excuse me, Grimm's Bar. This is Koolfrogg. Haha! I don't even know where I'm at.
You don't even what in the world? You don't even know where you are.
No, I caught
You must be busy.
I caught the Brandon. Let's go, Brandon Koof. But yeah, Christmas is still going.
Christmas code will give you a
20%,
20% off. Nice.
20% off, and then Koolfrogg gets you 15% off. That is the discount code of this stream, as always. Of course, is the Christmas.
That's
thing,
the discount code. If you actually watch my episode, you actually pick that one up, and you actually see that's KOOLFROGG. Don't forget how to spell that. You spell it wrong, you're not going to find me.
I know you got to spell it right, and we'll help you. We'll help you. This guy will help you. This guy right here will help you.
Whoops.
That's cool. So grab yourself one and use that lovely discount code.
All that being said, I am Koolfrogg.
He is.
You can find me. You can go to linktree/Koolfrogg. Again, KOOLFROGG.
Frog.
And you can see the multiple different places that I'm actually have something going on. I'm trying my hardest to actually produce some kind of content across almost everything. These episodes that happen on YouTube do get uploaded to both Odyssey. Odyssey's having an issue right now. I don't really know what's going on. It's been like 4 days and it's still trying to sync itself with content from YouTube. Otherwise, Rumble is synced. Odyssey
Indeed,
does have the one episode. I don't know if I actually put it on Rumble. I must actually try figuring out how to do that. But Odyssey does have an episode that we actually got canceled on. They took that episode away from us. It was a good episode.
Indeed, it was.
We talked about some stuff that that you just can't talk about because YouTube just Susan has an issue with it. So
she gets cranky when she doesn't get.
She gets
her sugar
very
cubes.
cranky, very angry. If you want to help me out immediately, you can go to buymeacoffee.com.
She's really cranky now.
/Koolfrogg. Again, KOOLFROGG. That's for the listeners. Help me out. Help America Shirts out. Help us grow. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell, and share this out. Let people see what we're actually talking about. I know there's quite a few people that talk about Jack Murphy in the last week, but not the same stuff that we talk about because we have our own opinions when it comes down to it.
Yeah, yes, we do.
That being said, thank you, folks. Have a wonderful night.
Later, peeps.
Later.